the more dirt I move. And the closer I get the search coil to the nugget, the louder the signal gets, and then I can kind of tell where it's coming from. Sometimes when they're that small and you're working in an awkward area, it's kind of hard to tell exactly where the signal's coming from. I do this process of elimination a little bit at a time because sometimes the nuggets have so much dust on them that you can't really see them until you get down to just a little tiny bit. Okay, there it is. This is pretty typical of the stuff that we find up here, about the size of a grain of rice and smaller. It's fun finding these little pickers. This area is loaded with them. So I carry a little container with me, and when I find one, it goes in the container, and then I'm off for the next one. In Havasu, we have a local prospecting club called the Havasu Gold Seekers. We have 8 square miles of claims, and there's 350 families that belong to the club. And it only takes an hour to get to the claims from here. So if I'm going to go out and go prospecting for the day, most likely I'll go to the claims because it's close. My greatest frustration in this hobby is not having enough time. Because I own a retail store, I'm in my store 6 days a week, and I don't get to get out and hunt for gold or down at the lake as much as I would like to. There was a time in my life when I was in between jobs for a year and a half, and I went out with my detector every day, and that's all I wanted to do. And I found a lot of stuff. I found lots of old coins and gold rings at the beach and gold nuggets. I miss that. I'd like to be able to do that again. There's a signal. This is noisy ground. There's a lot of black sand in here. Oh, there it is. It's another bullet. This is a .50 caliber. General Patton had maneuvers in this area. They had land maneuvers on the other side of the Colorado River and air maneuvers on this side. He had planes that towed huge targets, and then the fighter planes would come and shoot the targets down. So this area is littered with these. We dig them up by the bucketful. This is a quartz rock that has gold laced in it. I found this in the Sierra Mountain Range, climbing a rock pile where they were doing the hydraulic monitoring, washing the mountainside away, and I was walking around on the rock piles and found this rock, and it just overloaded the signal on my metal detector. I don't know how much gold is in it. It's mostly clinging on the outside of one side and penetrating through about a half an inch. So it is connected. I don't know how much gold is in it. I don't care how much gold is in it. It's just, that was so much fun to find. And this one, I had cut into slabs, and I have about 20 of these slabs, and each one of these is laced with gold. Someday I'm going to have these made into cabochons, and I'll make some jewelry out of them. But this was probably my most impressive rock.
When we return, Sallee will show us her most special find, and we'll also meet Jeri Markinson, who has just been hunting for 2 years and had incredible luck finding gold nuggets and jewelry.
This is one of my favorite things I've found. This is an old branding iron that goes back to the time period between the 1880s and the 1920s. And the reason it means so much to me is I know who owned it, and I know how it was used, and I have pictures in a history book that tell me who owned it. It belonged to a man named Franklin Gilbert, and he had a lumber mill and teams of oxen, and when he wasn't using the oxen to drag the big logs out of the forest, he was turning them loose to forage for food, and there were several lumber mills in the area, and each lumber mill owner had their own brand, and their own team of oxen, and that's how it was used. My husband and I met through this hobby. We were both teaching classes independently, so we started combining the classes we were teaching. And so when people ask me what's the best thing I've ever found with my metal detector, I have to say my husband. I want to see people have as much fun as I do. I want to see them be as successful at it as I am. And I'm always helping people and answering their questions. You can read an instruction manual and it will tell you what the knobs on the detector are for and why they work the way they do. The people that take our class walk away with more confidence. Plus, I have watched dozens of people dig their first nugget when I've been teaching these classes. And it's like they get this huge grin on their face. It's like watching your child walk for the first time. There's a difference between what you do and who you are, and this is who I am. It's what I do, but it's also who I am. Like if someone says to you, what do? You think about your job, but that's not really who you are. But this is what I am.
Jeri got started only 2 years ago, gold prospecting and treasure hunting on the shores of Lake Havasu in Arizona. And now that the treasure bug has bitten her, she's in it for life.
I got started in metal detecting when I moved out here to Arizona 3 years ago. I actually came to this shop that I'm sitting in now, Venture West, and talked to the owner, Sue, about getting some maps and things for the area for finding rocks and minerals. But then as I looked around and saw the metal detectors, I started talking to the owner and people that were coming in and out of the store, and it piqued my interest. So I tried it out with borrowing somebody's metal detector a couple times, and I liked it. And I have myself a metal detector, and I'm going to it. I love it. What intrigued me about metal detecting was the fact that I could find something that's maybe been gone for a very long time, that somebody lost maybe back in the 40s, 50s, even the 1800s. I'd love to be able to find something that old. I haven't yet, but I'm still working on it. Or I could help somebody to find something that they've lost, because that's always a good feeling, helping somebody recover something. In fact, just today I was down at the beach and somebody lost a horseshoe and I helped them recover it. That was pretty easy, but they had buried it and they were looking for a long time. Couldn't find it, so I helped them.